every person is a world. So literally you have different type of methods for different type of people. You have different types of students as well. We have videos on all that. Subscribe. But what kind of learner do you think you are? And what helped you as a student?
Visual, if it's a
You
what you mean?
identify yourself as a visual?
Yeah, as a visual and auditory.
Yeah, that's what because I don't really believe that you can like tick
No,
one box and be like,
there's
that's
no
it.
way.
I'm
There's no
that.
way. And it's not only like 4 or 5. There's very multiple. Like they can blend.
So in your case, you would say that you're mostly auditory and visual.
Every music teacher I had, they said like they were impressed with my ear, the ear I
Okay.
had.
I don't know if that happens. If that ever happened to you, or if you know someone, it would maybe feel better. But I truly believe that I started like when I was a kid, I was visual, but then it developed like auditory senses, and now I'm full on auditory. I don't know if that's even possible, but
Yeah, I think it's possible. Like when I was a kid, I used to be more quiet, and I used to listen more than what I will speak. So I think I just learned to listen to my
exactly, yeah.
And eventually, growing up, like I was obsessed with music and stuff. So I would listen to it. That's a way of learning for me. That was a way of learning. But as I grow older, I started like, I will entertain myself watching videos or watch TV or things like that. With that, when I was younger or when I was in high school, I wouldn't do it. Like I wouldn't watch TV. It wasn't like something that will entertain. But growing older, I did. And that was like, I felt like I found a new tool when I needed to learn speaking.
That's right, because it's a modern tool that you're using right now. In this case, like I said, I used to be a visual learner at the beginning, at like primary school and stuff. So in that case, something that helped me out was writing down what I wanted to learn and then literally putting it all over the walls. So I had like my whole room was filled with different like pages and different maps that I would use to remember stuff. Now that I'm more of a listener per se, an auditory learner, it helps a lot to record myself and to actually, listen to that over and over again. I went full on crazy mode. I remember in high school, and I literally was going to sleep with that look on.
In my case, I didn't record myself, but I will rewrite every note until it was stuck in my head, and then I will say it out loud.
I mean, it's been researched that if you actually write it down on a piece of paper, it doesn't count. It doesn't count if you're writing it down on your laptop. It has to be handwritten.
Yeah, it has to be.
You retain it even more. What have you noticed that is actually helpful that maybe it's not in like books or in YouTube videos?
I don't know if it's something, but I will have to, when I rewrote every note, I will have to read it, write it down as I will explain it. If I will explain the topic, I will write it down.
Okay.
Like explaining it, and it will have to be handwriting has to be perfect, otherwise I will rip it off and I will start it over again, and you will have to have certain details. Like I don't know if that's a thing.
Well, that's good because you're practicing it. You're getting the reps in. You're writing it down over and over again.
It has to be visual appealing for me.
Okay, it has to be
like
aesthetic.
handwriting. And as I don't know, I was like, I needed to like if I know that and I know this is something as it's out there, but if you are able to explain the topic, you need to learn it, and you can see it.
Yeah, I mean that's a technique, of course. But I think that's interesting. You have something there because if you are writing it down perfectly, you're thinking about getting it done the best way possible. You're thinking so much about the content that you're writing, so you're internalizing way more than if you just didn't really care about the output. I used to handwrite everything that I needed to remember, and my handwriting sucks. Like it really sucks. I have to sit down, I have to write it down as if someone else were going to read it. Because if I'm the one that's gonna read that, I know my own handwriting. I know I can understand things that people don't. So I'll try to write it down as perfectly as possible. So, I mean, it's kind of similar. And that way I will think so much about the content that I'm doing that at the end of the day, I would retain it. Nowadays, one of the best techniques that have helped me out to avoid, not procrastinating because I still do it, but to avoid feeling overwhelmed by how much I have to do is actually put my cell phone in airplane mode.
In what?
Airplane mode.
Okay.
I would put it in airplane mode and that's it. I would just get away from everything and I would do what I have to do. In this case is study, but it can
Airplane
go.
mode, like for you, not only.
No, I would put it on my phone and also myself. But I would put it on my phone so that I don't get notifications on anything and I just start writing things down.
Well, for me, I can do it. I cannot.
You can?
Because I know that it's an airplane mode, and what if I have someone texting me, and it's part of this stress that I'm doing. Like, I need to have something besides what I'm doing, so I'm not very focused on, and it's not as stressing, and I can like, as I processing the information, I'm like.
So you need to multitask.
Yeah.
So in that case, what do you think helps?
I put it in another room.
Okay.
If I put it in a different room, I'm just grab, I don't know, the books that I'm having to read or whatever, and I just fuck it.
Okay, do you have
Or
a place?
I have, or I put music. Something that helped me is to put music like, I don't know, it's not sci-fi, it's like sci.
Oh, OSTs. Like soundtrack.
What's it? Lo-fi.
Lo-fi. There we go. Thank
Lo-fi
you.
music.
Lo-fi music, really? The lo-fi girl.
Yeah. That helps
So
because
it's
I know
instrumental.
my phone. My phone. It's there. It's having like it's being used for something that I can like. If I listen to it, I relax and I'm okay. And it's something else happening besides what I'm doing, and I can just that way. It's like
Okay.
it's not multitasking, but my brain, I guess, takes it as.
You know, I have a fun fact about that because I can't listen to lo-fi because I start making up rhymes and I literally do it. I start like rapping out of nowhere just because the beat is doing its thing. And it's like, okay, I start like, okay, get in the groove of it. And I start like rapping and I get distracted. So I can't. But I do listen to a lot of OSTs, original soundtracks for different films. That helps a lot. Because in this case, I like to know the music that I'm listening to. But I need it to be instrumental.